Please take a moment to subscribe to this channel as I tell you how I found love in Nigeria. Who the hell recorded this? Delete it now. Ivana's voice sliced through the marble-floored living room of her mother's Lekki mansion. Her British accent as sharp as broken glass. Her iPhone screen blazed with humiliation. A viral clip of her matte black G-Wagon crashing into the security gate at VVIP Club. Champagne bottle in hand, music blasting, as she laughed like a goddess on fire. Over 500,000 views. Trending on Instagram. Hashtags. Hashtag rich brat, hashtag Lekki menace, hashtag daddy money. Her fingers clenched the phone. Bloody idiots. Do they know who I am? From the other side of the room, her father's voice came cold and slow, the way only a white man trying to keep his temper could sound. They know exactly who you are, Ivana. Which is why this little circus ends today. She turned, her long honey-blonde braids whipping around her face. Daddy, please. It's not that deep. Oh, it's deep, he shot back, pacing like a general. I didn't bring you back to Nigeria to make me a laughingstock. The Hastings name is on every blog in Lagos right now. Ivana smirked and sank into a velvet chair, crossing her legs like the queen she believed she was. Relax. Tomorrow they'll be dragging someone else. That's how Lagos works. But then came the blow she didn't see coming. Her father's blue eyes locked on her steely. You're getting a chauffeur. Professional. From now on, you don't touch a steering wheel in this city. Ivana shot up so fast the chair nearly toppled. What? A bloody babysitter. Daddy, are you insane? Not insane, he said flatly. Smart. The man starts tomorrow. Ivana's hands curled into fists. She could practically hear the blogs already. Wild child gets a nanny. Oh hell no. Nobody, not daddy, not some overpaid driver, was about to tame her. She flung her phone onto the couch and hissed under her breath. He has no idea what's coming. The sound of heavy tires crunching on the driveway dragged Ivana out of her morning rage scroll. She lowered her sunglasses, peering out the glass wall of her mother's Lekki mansion. A black Mercedes Maybach glided in like it owned the earth. And then he stepped out. Broad shoulders. Dark skin glistening under the Lagos sun. No smile. No rush. The kind of calm that made Ivana's stomach twist because calm men were the most dangerous. She scoffed and flipped her braids over her shoulder. So this is Daddy's big idea. A bloody driver. Cute. The man didn't look at her immediately. He went to the rear door, opened it like he was ushering royalty, and finally met her eyes. No bow. No fake grin. Just a steady look that felt like a challenge. Ivana Hastings. His voice was deep, like gravel coated in silk. He smirked. Who's asking? He didn't flinch. Kelechi. Your new driver. Ivana let out a short laugh and walked toward him, her heels tapping like gunshots on marble. Driver. Darling, I don't do drivers. I fire them. For the first time. His lips curved into the faintest shadow of a smile. Then I guess today will be interesting. Her chest tightened with irritation. She hated that he wasn't breaking a sweat under her glare. Men usually melted when she turned this heat on. Listen, Kelechi, she drew out his name like poison. Here's how this works. You work for me. You obey me. Got it? He tilted his head slightly, and in that split second, Ivana knew she'd made a mistake thinking she was in control. No, ma'am, he said smoothly. I work for your father. Big difference. Ivana's jaw clenched. The audacity. Now, Kelechi added, stepping closer. Close enough for her to catch the faint scent of cedar and clean sweat. Are we driving to the spa first, or are you planning to keep me standing in this sun all day? Ivana blinked. For the first time in years, words failed her. She hated him already. And for some insane reason she wanted to know more. The leather interior of the Maybach smelled of money and power, two things Ivana knew well. She slid into the back seat, oversized shades hiding her narrowed eyes as Kelechi shut the door with infuriating calm. Where to, ma'am? His tone was polite, but there was no softness in it. No fear. Ivana smiled sweetly, The kind of smile that made men sweat bullets. Take me to Velour Spa. And step on it. I don't like to be late. Yes, ma'am. No sarcasm. No attitude. Just those steady hands on the wheel. Traffic thickened near Admiralty Road. But Ivana was determined to make him crack. She leaned forward, her perfume filling the car like a weapon. Can't you go faster? Are you allergic to the accelerator? Kelechi didn't blink. No, ma'am. I'm allergic to jail time. Her jaw dropped. Did he just? She laughed sharply, a sound dripping with venom. Cute. You think you're funny. Not funny, he replied smoothly. Just free. That did it. Ivana yanked off her shades and leaned closer, her face inches from his profile. You work for me. You do as I say. Kelechi turned his head slowly, eyes locking on hers through the rearview mirror. I work for your father, he said again, voice low and lethal. And last time I checked, he pays me to keep you alive. Not to indulge your tantrums. Something hot and sharp shot through Ivana's veins. Wait. Or was it something else? She hated the way her heartbeat stumbled under that calm stare. Pull over, she snapped. He did. Smooth, no questions asked. Ivana shoved the door open, stepping onto the road in her tiny silk dress, traffic horns screaming. People stared. Cameras flashed. Perfect. If she couldn't break him privately, she'd do it publicly. Ma'am. Kelechi's voice came like a warning as he rounded the car, towering over her. Get back inside. Or what? She challenged, lips curling. For a heartbeat, silence crackled between them, thick and dangerous. His jaw flexed. His eyes burned with something she couldn't name. Or I carry you. Ivana froze. No one had ever spoken to her like that. No one had ever dared. And for the first time, her anger tangled with a thrill she couldn't shake. Ivana hadn't spoken a word since their roadside showdown. Back in the Maybach, silence stretched like a tight rope. Kelechi drove with maddening calm, his jaw set, his eyes fixed on the road as if she didn't exist. But she wanted him to sweat. Except he wasn't sweating. He wasn't anything. By the time they reached Velour Spa, her phone was buzzing like a hive. She glanced at the screen, and her blood ran cold. At Lagos hot tea. Rich UK babe causing traffic drama on Lekki Ape. Who's the mystery driver that carried her back into the car like a sack of rice? Hashtag Lekki menace, hashtag neuromance. Ivana's eyes widened. They didn't. She scrolled, pictures everywhere. Her tiny silk dress. Kelechi's hand gripping her arm. The angle made it look intimate. Too intimate. Oh, bloody hell, she muttered. When she looked up, Kelechi was watching her through the rearview mirror, calm as ever. Problem. Ivana clenched her teeth. Don't flatter yourself. You're trending. Congratulations. His brow barely twitched. Doesn't bother me. That annoyed her even more. Men like him were supposed to panic over blogs, beg for mercy. But this one, nothing. No fear. No shame. God, that calm was driving her insane. Hours later, when they left the spa, the city lights had melted into golden evening. Traffic crawled along Ozumbambadu, and Ivana, sulking in the back seat, opened Instagram again, only to see another headline. Ivana Hastings and her dark night. Lagos socialite spotted with mystery man. She groaned, throwing her phone aside. Ugh. My life is officially a circus. Kelechi didn't respond. Instead, his hands tightened on the wheel, and for the first time, Ivana noticed the veins running along his forearm, the quiet strength in those fingers. Why was she noticing that? Why did she care how his shirt clung to his shoulders? She shook the thought off, but then the car slowed to a stop. What now? She snapped. Kelechi was already out of the car, crossing the street. Ivana frowned and peered out the window. He'd stopped for an old woman struggling with a heavy sack by the roadside. She watched, stunned, as he lifted the load effortlessly and carried it to her shack. The old woman smiled. Kelechi smiled back, Not the tight smirk he gave Ivana, but a real smile. Warm. Something fluttered in her chest, and she hated it. Because for the first time since she met him, Ivana wanted to know who this man really was. The rain came out of nowhere. 1 minute, the expressway shimmered under the sunset. The next, Lagos was drowning. Kelechi cursed softly under his breath as thunder cracked the sky. Great, Ivana groaned from the back seat, scrolling through her phone. Now what? I have dinner at Noir in an hour. Kelechi's grip tightened on the wheel. Not in this weather, you don't. The bridge is flooding. Then find another route, genius. I don't sit in traffic. His jaw ticked once. You'd rather sit in a ditch. Before she could retort, the Maybach rolled into the driveway of a sleek boutique resort. Glass walls, soft lights glowing through the storm. Kelechi spoke to the concierge in low tones, then turned to her. We're staying here tonight. Ivana blinked. Excuse me. Roads blocked both ways, he said simply, handing her an umbrella. Unless you plan to swim back to Lekki. Ivana opened her mouth to argue, then shut it. The rain was pounding like bullets now. Fine. One night. How bad could it be? The suite was pure luxury. Cream walls, warm lighting, a king-sized bed that looked sinful. Ivana tossed her bag on the bed and turned to find Kelechi shrugging out of his soaked jacket. Drops of rain slid down his forearms, disappearing under rolled-up sleeves. She looked away too fast, heart thudding. Why was it so hot in here? Relax, he said evenly, kicking off his boots. I'll take the couch. Oh, please. Ivana laughed sharply, tossing her wet braids over her shoulder. You think I'm worried about you? Kelechi's eyes flicked up, dark and unreadable. No. I think you're worried about yourself. That hit like a slap. Her cheeks burned, and before she could stop herself, words spilled out. You think you know me. You think just because you drive me around you can read me. He stood slowly, closing the space between them. No, he said, voice low and dangerous. But I see what everyone else misses. That's why you hate me, isn't it? Because I don't buy the act. Ivana's pulse roared in her ears. His scent, rain, cedar, man, wrapped around her like a trap. She stepped back. He stepped forward. Stop, she whispered. Say it like you mean it, he murmured. And then it happened. One heartbeat, too, and his mouth was on hers. Hard. Every ounce of that tension detonating in a single kiss that tasted like war and surrender all at once. Ivana didn't push him away. She pulled him closer. Ivana woke up to the soft hum of rain against glass and a scent that wasn't hers. Clean, warm cedar. For a second she thought it was a dream. Then she saw him. Kelechi. Sitting in the armchair across the room, broad shoulders draped in a white hotel robe, eyes fixed on his phone. Like nothing happened. Her cheeks flushed hot as memories crashed in, the kiss. The heat. The way his hands had framed her face like he was afraid and hungry all at once. Morning. His voice was calm, almost casual, as if her entire world hadn't tilted last night. Ivana sat up slowly, her silk robe slipping off one shoulder. So, that happened. One brow lifted. You regret it? The question hung heavy, pulling something raw out of her chest. Do you? She countered. Kelechi didn't answer. He stood tall and quiet and began packing their things. The conversation was over. Just like that. By the time they returned to Lekki, the storm outside had passed, but a new one was brewing online. Ivana's phone lit up like fireworks the moment she stepped into her mother's mansion. At Nijibaz, Ivana Hastings spotted at Rosewood Resort with Mystery Man again. Overnight stay. Eyes fire. Oh, bloody hell, she muttered, scrolling through blurry photos of her silhouette at the suite window. The blogs had her name in flames, and this time they weren't just talking about her. Hashtag Ivanian the driver was trending. Her chest squeezed, panic crawling in. If her father saw this. As if on cue, her phone rang. Daddy flashed across the screen. Ivana. His voice was ice. Is there something you want to tell me about my driver? Her heart stopped. Daddy, it's not. Save it. He's gone. I want him out of that house before nightfall. Blick. The call ended, leaving her trembling. She stormed out to the driveway, only to find Kelechi leaning against the Maybach, his face unreadable. You knew, she accused, voice cracking. You knew this would happen. His jaw tightened. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. Her eyes burned. My father. He said you've been working for him longer than I thought. Why, Kelechi? What are you really doing here? For the first time, something flickered in his eyes. Guilt. He opened his mouth, then shut it again, stepping back like a man who'd been burned. I can't explain, he said quietly. Not now. Ivana's throat closed. Then don't. Just go. You're good at that, right? She turned on her heel before he could see the tears. Because for the first time in her life, Ivana Hastings didn't feel untouchable. She felt broken. The house was too quiet. Ivana stormed through the marble hallway, her heels clicking like gunfire, anger thrumming in her veins. Her father's words echoed in her head. He's gone. I want him out before nightfall. Gone. Well, not before she had her say. She found Kelechi in the garage, tossing his duffel bag into the Maybach's trunk. His shirt clung to his chest, damp from sweat. His face carved in that same infuriating calm, the calm that made her want to scream. So that's it. Her voice cracked like glass. You kiss me, make me think, she swallowed hard. And then you just disappear? Kelechi didn't turn. Your father made it clear. Oh, don't you dare put this on him. She marched closer, heels biting into the concrete. This was your plan all along, wasn't it? Get close to the spoiled rich girl. Make her trust you. Then what? Blackmail. His head snapped toward her, eyes flashing like a storm. Watch your mouth, Ivana. Or what? She laughed bitterly, ignoring the way her chest ached. You think you're different, but you're just like the rest. Men who orbit me for what they can take. Kelechi closed the distance in 2 strides, towering over her. His voice a dangerous whisper. If I wanted your money, I would have had it the first day I drove you. But no, all I wanted was to keep you alive. Because you've been trying to kill yourself since the moment you landed in this city. The words slammed into her like a punch. Her throat burned. Her vision blurred. But pride wouldn't let her cry in front of him. Congratulations, she hissed, stepping back. You win. Go back to whatever gutter you crawled out of. I don't care. His jaw clenched so tight it looked painful. For a heartbeat, Ivana thought he'd say something, anything. Instead, he grabbed his bag, slammed the trunk shut, and slid into the driver's seat. The engine roared to life. And just like that, Kelechi was gone. Ivana stood frozen in the garage, her chest hollow, her hands trembling. She'd spent her whole life winning every game, but this one she lost without even knowing the rules. Please like, comment and subscribe for part 2.